I do want to say I have 2 or 3 messages asking me if I have proofreading personal statement services. If that is something that you're interested in, I might be able to make a business out of that because I am a university student at the end of the day. I live in a budget, and obviously if I can use my intellect, my experience to help other people and also help myself financially, I don't see that as a bad thing. And I think I will charge really, really cheap in order for you to just give you some really good concise feedback for your personal statement. Obviously, linking back to my other point, it's good to share your personal statement with a fresh eye, which I could help, and I'm a university graduate student. I have written so many personal statements. Right now I'm in the journey of writing more personal statements, so my mindset is just full of personal statement. So I'm in a really good position to help out some soon-to-be university undergrad students. If you do want personal statement proofreading service, I have to say I will charge for it since I am giving away my time and I am a really busy person. As much as I want to help you, I still want to get something out of it. Therefore, if you are interested, do send me a message and we can negotiate some prices that is really reasonable. I wouldn't charge you too high. Definitely cheaper than most of the proofreading service you can find online. So yeah, just give me a shout. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As seen from the title, this week's video wouldn't be a vlog. I feel like I should take a break from vlogging and just have a diverse amount of videos because I'm sure you get tired of my vlogs if I keep posting them every week, although I enjoy vlogging a lot. But I think this week I want to make a more useful video for university students or soon-to-be university students. I have recently got a lot of DMs about personal statement advice. I just thought instead of me replying to every single DM, I feel like it might be more helpful for you if I articulate it through camera and help more people all at once. I am also currently writing my personal statements for my master's application, and they're normally referred to statement of purposes, not personal statement, but it's practically the same thing. And I just want to show you guys what I've done and maybe read some snippets of things I wrote for my statement of purpose. Obviously, I don't know if it's good since I haven't been accepted to any university yet since it's still application season, but I do want to share because I think sometimes knowing what people wrote and like how my point can actually translate to a real life example really helps. I just want to make this video as concise, as helpful as possible for soon-to-be university students. So this video will be focused on UCAS application for the UK since US personal statement is different from the UK personal statement. I'm just gonna say it quickly. US personal statement focus a lot more on extracurricular activity. UK is more academic. So therefore I'm gonna focus on UK since I've studied in the UK and now I'm applying mostly for UK universities for Masters too. So most of my writings are pretty academic. Therefore, I will target this video on UK applicants. If you're applying for the US, this will be helpful too, but please take my word with a pinch of salt because there is a slight difference in the application requirements and what they require from you in your personal statement. First of all, I just want to say in any personal statement, whether US or UK or Australia or wherever you're going, you gotta be precise. You gotta make it personal. That's why it's called personal statement. This is really obvious, but I just do want to emphasize that. Be precise. Everything you say, you want to link it back to why it is personal to you. So you don't want to say, oh, I have a passion for English literature. That is something that everyone else could say. In your personal statement, you want to make sure most of your sentences are only saidable, only could be said by you. Okay, so for my master's application, I used my experience of having encephalitis to back up my research interest in parasocial relationship. So to make it personal, I used my experience on building a parasocial relationship with one of the film characters that I watched when I was recovering from encephalitis to say that that is why I want to research this notion of ideology further, because I've experienced this and that is why I want to explore this further at university. Obviously for undergrad, you don't research, it's not a research topic, but you still want to be precise and like pinpoint on that moment when you realize that you have the passion for this degree that you want to pursue in higher education. So if you're in love with English literature, you have to say during maybe one specific moment, one specific class, after watching a specific TED Talk, after reading this specific book, you realize, whoa, I have so many questions about this, and you have to pursue it further. You want to make it sound like that instead of just saying, I love this subject because this is interesting. That's just really fake. Anyone else can say it. So the first rule of thumb is make sure no one else could read your personal statement out loud and make it sound like theirs. It has to be like yours, and no one else in the world can relate to the things you say. You also have to emphasize why you are fitted to the degree that you're applying to. And how I present that in my statement of purpose is that I said about an article that I read that is written by one of the professors at the university I'm applying to. That is also a really good thing to do. I don't think it's necessary to do it in undergrad level since you have a lower word count than I have as a master's applicant. But if you can, maybe research the faculty in your specific degree and see if any professors' publications spark your interest. Give it a read and see what you can say about it. For me, I read one of the publication by a professor in LSE, which is one of the university I'm applying to, and I kind of argued about a point that he made and just kind of said how it could be explored further. So basically, I wrote that in my personal statement. I argued that the comparison he put between historical colonialism to the data colonialism is questionable, in that I think they are not tantamount to each other and you can't really compare it. I disagree with the fact that he did that. So it also shows critical thinking on my side, which is a really important university skill. I never really understood critical thinking until I went into university. So it will be really a bonus brownie point if you could show some of your critical thinking in your personal statement, which recruiters probably will love because it just shows that you could really thrive in the university learning environment. Critical thinking is literally thinking critically in everything you read. So, okay, linking back to my point, maybe find a publication that you like that sparks your interest in one of the faculty of the degree that you're applying to, and then read their writing and see what you could critically argue against or give some feedback towards. So it doesn't always have to be disagreeing with something people wrote. You can also expand your points. That's also critical thinking. Just find a point from their publication and just expand on it and link back to why you are interested in this degree. Always remember to link back to why you are perfect for this degree. Whatever you write, you have to link it back to the point of the essay, which is to show yourself off. Also, another thing you could do is you have your A-levels to juggle around. You could say that, for example, if you study philosophy, one aspect of philosophy that you study links to the degree you're applying to, because a lot of A-level subjects are really multidisciplinary and most of the subjects really collide towards each other. For example, if you are studying my degree, Digital Media and Society, which isn't a A-level course, right? But if you also study, for example, philosophy and religious studies during your A-level, you probably might have come across some philosopher who talked about digital revolution or talked about the idea of presentation of self, and the idea of presentation of self could be linked to digital media on how people on Instagram present themselves, if you get what I mean. So everything you study could be stretched to the degree you are interested in. So I think that is also a really interesting point to put in your personal statement. I want to emphasize that in the UK personal statement, it is, as I said in the beginning, very academic heavy. Normally, it is recommended at 80% academics and 20% extracurricular. In my personal statement, I think I stuck with that. But I know a lot of elite universities such as Oxford, they would prefer a 90-10 balance between academic and extracurricular. For the extracurricular, you can use that 20% to talk about extracurricular that has no resemblance to your degree. So for example, you did some charity work, and it also shows that you can not only be academic, but you also are able to manage your time to do other things. But I feel like for me, this is my personal advice, I will also link my extracurricular back to why you are suited for the degree. like everything can be related. Like if you can maybe say like, oh, I worked in retail in Sainsbury this summer and I've gained a new insight on the interpersonal relationship between people, since I have been observing a lot of people when I was in my shift at Sainsbury, seeing the way people talk and articulate themselves and how people talk differently when they talk to different people, which is why I want to study psychology in this university, since I like to look in the world through a psychological lens, blah blah blah. Like everything could be linked back to your degree. So I think you have nothing to lose if you could use your extracurricular to intensify the idea that you are perfect for this degree. I don't see that as a bad thing. And even if your extracurricular doesn't link at all, it could be separated because it's 80% and 20%, and it's fine to talk about extracurricular since it does make you look like a person that does not only study 24/7, which is good. Just share your personal statement with as much people as possible. Send it to your teacher, send it to your friends, send it to your parents, since if you're the person who's writing it, you probably have read it 10, 20, 30 times, and sometimes mistakes are already merged into your vision and you don't really spot it out clearly. So I feel like the more people you give to read, the more mistakes will be found. However, that doesn't mean that you should agree to every feedback that people give you, since the more you give out, the more diluted and the more changes you will make on your personal statement that could have the risk of making it less personal, since it is from other people's point of view. So do take feedback, obviously, with a pinch of salt. If you agree, then change it, but don't always feel like every feedback is perfect, since ultimately this piece of writing is about you and no one knows you better than yourself. If you don't know where to start with your personal statement, a good thing is just literally write everything you want to put down, and through the process of elimination, prioritize the best thing that could show the best part of yourself to the admissions officers. The hardest thing to do is to start, and if you start, you could slowly just get the snowball rolling and just get your ideas rolling and just start writing. Yes, I'm also writing my personal statement for my master's, and for master's it is really different since I have to write a separate one for every university I'm applying to, and now I've come to a point where I'm a bit stuck and I'm just a bit tired of writing. So I just want to say don't give up, since if you're doing undergrad, you only have to write one piece of writing. Just put all you can to make it as personal as possible. You can also add some emotional touches onto it. I feel like emotional things always get to people because admission officers are human beings at the end of the day. They're not robots. They also are more inclined to personal stories. I do recommend maybe add a bit of personal twist into your academic writing. Don't sound like a freaking robot and just literally list out all your academic achievement and why you're the best person ever. Make some anecdotes and link that to why your degree fits to you. So as I said before, I talked about my brain inflammation, my encephalitis, which I never really shared on my channel, but now you know. I also made a video talking about it. I use that as an anecdote to talk about my interest in the research field. So I think adding an anecdote would just make it more interesting to read. First of all, it shows that you're human and it adds a hint of emotion onto it. Yeah, I think that is all I want to say. I literally just basically vomited all my words out and basically said everything I want to say in one sentence. I hope it was digestible because I think I have a bad habit when I film. I just literally say everything out and I don't really take a break between sentences, which is literally what I'm doing right now. Okay, breathe, Suki, breathe. If you want me to read some bit of my personal statement, I will do right now. I started my personal statement with, I was diagnosed with encephalitis, a severe brain inflammation, and went into an 8-day coma when I was 16. That was also the time where I met Susanna, blah, blah, blah. And I described how she gave me strength through my recovery. And I was just like, my past has inspired my research interest in digital parasocial relationship. And I hope to join the world-leading London School of Economics to continue my journey. That's how I started my personal statement. Obviously, yours is not that specific. Yours is just 1 for 5 university. So don't take my start word by word, but that is a way you could start your personal statement. Anyway, that is it. Wish you the best of luck on your university application. And I am in the same shoe as you. I'm doing my university applications too. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.